The Battle of UMBARA was one of the darkest battles of the Clone Wars. That was for various reasons. UMBARA as a planet was a really dangerous world. It was a shadow world, which meant clone troopers were fighting in dark environment. That caused disorientation among many troops. The inability of clones to see was extremely dangerous, and it could be also bad for their psychology, as dark environment could make them paranoid or afraid, and it could really scar them from inside. Clone troopers were trained to endure various circumstances, but there were some worlds that were brutal for Republic forces, only manageable for a short amount of time. These battles could even last from several days to several months, which was complicated and also depending on circumstances. There were several worlds that wouldn't be the first choice for many troops: Jabiim, Mimban or even Geonosis. These were some of the worst planets to fight on during the Clone Wars, but we can clearly add here UMBARA as one of the worst locations. And it wasn't just darkness. This dark environment created dangerous fauna and flora, so everyone needed to be on a lookout. It was also different because of their enemies. This planet was not defended by standard separatist droids. UMBARA had its own military force to use it in defending themselves. They were properly trained and used advanced technology that was far superior and very different from the Republic's, and it was not something their enemies were used to. This technology varied from advanced vehicles, protective suits that improved their fighting and aggression, special blasters, small assassin droids, tanks, cannons, and much more. Everything had devastating force and could wipe even dozens of clones at once. Clones were trained to fight different machines and enemies, and UMBARAs were used to this environment, so they, with smaller numbers, could overpower clones easily. What UMBARAns didn't have is something the Republic brought: Jedi Knights. That was great support for the Republic, as these Jedi were generals of the army. Even with the UMBARAN upper hand, Jedi provided great leadership and strategic thinking. They were also some of the best fighters in the galaxy, with single Jedi being able to stand against many enemies by themselves. On top of that, they mastered the ways of the Force, which was unpredictable for any enemy. They could use it in smaller aspects of battle or through more complex techniques, which could completely change the state of the fight. For UMBARA, the Republic really needed the best of the best from Jedi Order, so who did they bring there? Anakin Skywalker was one of the most well-known Jedi generals present in this battle. With his unconventional tactics, he was able to secure many victories for the Republic. He was the chosen one, with unmatched skills and power. He was also a great pilot, and he could use his tactical thinking to his advantage, sometimes even being reckless, but most of the time it ended up well. He was quick thinking and formed a special bond with his troops, whose loyalty to him was exceptional. From the very start, Skywalker and the 501st were able to fight well at the beginning of the attack on UMBARA, and other battalions were really counting on his assault. Although they were surprised by how resourceful the UMBARANs were, they still put up a good fight. Unfortunately, Anakin was called off-world by Chancellor Palpatine effective immediately. He had to put his troops under someone else's command, which we'll talk about later. Obi-Wan Kenobi was another skilled Jedi Master present in this battle. He was commanding to 1/2nd Battalion. His role was to secure important objectives, and even with Skywalker leaving the battle, Kenobi was still able to push this Republic attack in its favor. However, he was not able to interfere with some of the most tragic events that happened there. For that, we need to talk about the Jedi General present in the battle, Krell. He was another enemy and danger to clones, and they didn't even know it. Krell was well known from his previous battles because of his high clone casualties. It seemed like he didn't value clones that much. At the beginning, his airstrike helped Anakin and 501st, but after Anakin was called off, Krell took command of these clones. His reputation was known among soldiers, and after witnessing his disrespect and strange tactics, something felt off. He didn't call clones by their names, only by their numbers. He has sent them to extremely dangerous situations despite their objections. This led clones to disobey orders because he was literally sending them to their deaths without any logical explanation. With clones disobeying him, Krell wanted Jesse and Fives executed. Because of that, but clones had enough and refused. Soon after, clones learned that the enemy had stolen clone armor. Krell deceived both 501st and 212nd into thinking they were fighting disguised enemies. Eventually, clones realized the truth, but it was too late. Many of their brothers fell, and it was tragic. Clones arrested Krell afterwards, though it didn't go smoothly, as he caused damage during his carnage and escape attempt. Afterwards, he revealed himself as Dooku's agent, having betrayed the Jedi and the Republic and fallen to the dark side. Krell was later killed by clone trooper Dogma. Despite the damage and danger he caused, clones were able to recover and with help from other Jedi secure the capital. Saesee Tiin was another Jedi present on UMBARA, even though he wasn't very relevant to the story of UMBARA arc in Clone Wars. His role was still important, as he supported Obi-Wan Kenobi and helped advance towards the capital. Tiin was a powerful Force user and one of the best Jedi pilots. He was well suited for this battle, having previously fought on Geonosis, another extremely difficult world with hostile environments and advanced enemy technology. Now I want to break down some of the Jedi that you may not even know were there. In the opening narration of Darkness on UMBARA, we briefly see two Jedi Padawans during the space battle and attack on UMBARA's blockade. These Padawans were Ahsoka Tano and Barriss Offee. We only see them there and there is nothing more in these episodes. That doesn't mean they were present on Ground Assault, but I think it's still blink and you miss it moment worth mentioning. There was also Lego set showing Ahsoka with 212nd fighting UMBARANs on the planet. This is not canon, but it would be really interesting to see Ahsoka more involved in this arc. I think the creators wanted to isolate the clones with General Krell for this story. It's possible Ahsoka wasn't allowed on such dangerous mission, or that she was supposed to arrive later but left due to Anakin's departure. It's still interesting that LEGO chose to include her on UMBARA, even though this isn't canon. LEGO sets aren't always 100% accurate, and there is also one LEGO set worth mentioning here, showing Yoda fighting on UMBARA alongside Clone on AT-RT and fighting battle droids. Sending Yoda to UMBARA would really be incredible choice, as he would have turned the battle quickly and possibly even stopping Pong Krell early, but in the Clone Wars we never saw Yoda on UMBARA. What do you think about this? Was this one of the most tragic and devastating battles of the Clone Wars? And if you could choose, which Jedi would you send to UMBARA to secure the victory for the Republic? Let me know in the comments down below. This video takes a lot of my time, so to support me you can like, comment, subscribe or share. I'll see you next time.